Hello and welcome to episode 36. Yes, this is the 36th episode in this series, and we're just gonna play three games here. It's City at home in the league, Arsenal in the Carabao Cup at home, and then we're playing against Liverpool. You know what? I might actually put in the Fulham game because we will be at the next year. So we might actually do 4 games this episode. When thinking about it, I think it's just for the better. Let's just jump in. Let's see if we can smack out Man City again. We have a good momentum against City. Not much has changed in their team compared to last time. And not much has changed in our team since the last game, more than that Carlos Tevez is finally back from his injury. He missed out on the last in the last episode, missed out on 2 games. But he's finally back. We're keeping the same team. I think it's just for the better. SCN, KL, Chiellini, Bacanero, they will get their playing time. Tevez, who's funny enough haven't played that much. It's not. I scored more goals than Adebayor that has like 1,000 more minutes in his legs. We're starting off with a free kick for City. Of course, it's like Tel Aviv game. For those who watched the last episode, we started off with giving them like multiple free kicks that led to a goal afterwards. So hopefully that ain't happening again. Olise Debe finds Carlos Tevez. Tevez. Every time he gets tackled or in a situation where he can get tackled, I get scared because I'm worried that he will get injured again. Tevez, Carlos Tevez. Still the undefeated, by the way. No draws, no losses. We're dominating the league. We're dominating the Champions League. Here's Carlos Tevez, by the way. Speaking about domination. Wayne Bridge doesn't get that ball through. Olise Debe. Here's Carlos Tevez. He's back. He's mad. And banked in the goals behind your mom. He's Carlos Tevez. Olise Debe tries to find a ball through to Carlos Tevez, but doesn't manage to get it through. Carlos Tevez finds Olise Debe trying to go for the header. Looks to the wing, but fails to find his target. Adebayor. Adebayor keeps the ball at his feet. Here's Carlos Tevez. Takes a shot. Good stop by the keeper. Clears the ball. Only 1-0 in the first half against Man City here. A little bit upsetting in a sense because we created a lot of chances here, but it's fine. As long as we're winning, I don't care. We haven't looked at the table for a while now, so maybe we'll do that at the end of the episode. We should be way ahead on points. Here's Olise Debe again. That was not far away from Olise Debe. That should have been a goal. Could have been a goal. Could have, should have, would have. Olise Debe. Here's Oliver Capu. Here's Adebayor. Here's Frank Lampard. Carlos Tevez grabs the ball. Oh my good lord. What a tackle. There's Lampard. There's Adebayor. Not much going on in this half. Here's Carlos Tevez. Only because I said so. Theater goes up. Paulo Van Schop goes in for City. Ian Hart whips it in. Oh, there is not far away from Carlos Tevez. Okay, Peter Drew, you don't have to like say stuff like that. That was uncool, dude. Carlos Tevez goes over, falls over into the... Oh my good lord. Okay. Tevez is just everywhere. Speaking of Tevez being everywhere, Carlos Tevez wraps the game up against Man City. That is 2-0, and City is not even close to attacking in this game. So I think that is clearly not a great win against... Oh my god, okay. I was like, I shouldn't have said anything because that probably will end up in the back of the goal, but not far away. A winning corner. That should be the wrap up of this game. Tevez. Was Carlos Tevez show against the Manchester City. Things you absolutely love to see if you're a manager of this London Nationals. Upcoming game, Arsenal, League Cup. Carabao Cup. I think at the end of the day. I think this was called Coca-Cola Cup or something like that. It's gonna take a while until we play in Champions League again. We are drawn to play against Deportivo La Coruña at the moment. And somewhere in this crazy schedule, I'm gonna play against in the FA Cup as well, I think. We're keeping the same lineup as previous games. I'm actually just gonna keep this episode with the game against City, Arsenal, and Liverpool. The Fulham game can come in the next episode. I think it's cooler to just focus on the big top games, even though it's City at this period in the game, or in like in real life, was not a top 6 club. I think it's just cooler to keep it like this. Okay, League Cup game against Arsenal, the mighty Arsenal. Let's see what we can do. Can we pull an upset here? That is a yellow card for Matthew Upson.
This is a risky place to concede a free kick.
Mellow. Usually Mellow. Ball gets stuck. I think they shouldn't have blown the whistle there, because we were like free to attack the goalkeeper, and they ruined that chance. But we have Carlos Tevez. We have Olisidebe. And we have nothing. Still 0-0 in this game. Still no David Seaman. He might have retired. I don't know if players actually retire in this game, but it would make sense if they do it. Here's Emmanuel Olisidebe. So many times before, he just smacks it into the back of the goal on Arsenal. Adebayor. Adebayor. I mean, it's not the worst attempt I've ever seen, but at least he tried. You'll get a medal for at least trying, Adebayor. Thierry Henry. Great save by Peter Cech. Things you like to see. We have to look out for Sylvain Wiltord here. He scored a few screamers. Oh my good lord. Lampard. Counter-attack. Finds Carlos Tevez. Matthew Upson with it. That yellow card dares to slide in for a tackle. First half is done against Arsenal. It's just 1-0. Elise Debe. We have had a few other attempts. They were like really close on scoring from their corner. So, yes, in the end of the day, it's been a pretty even game. Elise Debe finds Carlos Tevez.
Shoots! Good stop by the keeper. Clears the ball. Plays the ball inside.
Elise Debe.
Shoots!
That is 2-0. Emmanuel Elise Debe. That might wrap up the game. You never know. You never know whenever Viltord gets the opportunity to score a goal. Adebayor.
Has a shot. The finish was absolutely
3-0. Adebayor finally scores a goal again. He doesn't do it that often these days. Like whenever he scores a goal, I have to like celebrate it, like I've won the league or something.
Pass was cut out. Solid tackle.
Carlos Tevez. That is a penalty. Matthew Upson, red card.
A second yellow. And now they're down to 10 men. Puts it wide of the post.
And Elise Debe fucks it up.
Hits the ball high and long. Takes it on his chest. Takes the ball.
Well, one less defender to think about.
The keeper got down to that one brilliantly.
Ian Hart has Bergkamp on lockdown. Elise Debe.
Knocks it wide.
Here's Carlos Tevez. Great tackle, amazing tackle. Come on.
Plays it forward. It's a precise pass.
Carlos Tevez.
Has a shot.
Frank Lampard. Frank Lampard.
Has a shot. We're certainly into injury time at this point.
Could have easily won by even more against Arsenal, but it stays at 3-0. Elise Debe and Adebayor. I'm not going to complain about that. We're through to the next round of the Carabao Cup. And that's all that matters in the end. At the end of the day, that's all that matters. Alright, last game of the episode coming up, the semi-finals. By the way, we're qualified for the semi-finals of the English League Cup, which is the Carabao Cup. Of course, there has to be bids on my players. It wouldn't be an episode without bids on my players. Let me guess, it's Chiellini, Mello, or Boccanegra. It's one of those players all the time. Oberhausen, you've tried to buy Boccanegra for the longest time. It's not gonna happen. Liverpool, we're gonna keep the same team playing. I'm not gonna change the winning team. Michael Owen, Milan Baros, Sheru, Danny Murphy, Steven Gerrard, Jan Arne Riise, Abel Xavier, Igor Bishkan, Jamie Carragher, Marcus Bubble, Jerzy Dudek, Emil Heskey, El Hadji Diaf, Raul Bravo. They bought Raul Bravo, Vladimir Smitser, and Chris Kirkland. Alright, let's see if we can keep the winning streak going. Don't let it slip, like Steven Gerrard would say. And then you slip and fall over, and then Baba scores the goal. And you don't win the league. Best moment in my life as a football fan. Carlos Tevez. Igor Bishkan went hard on Tevez.
But it's been headed away. Owen. Gerrard!
Damn, that's a cracking shot by Gerrard. I have to give the guy that much.
Gets it across. Heads it.
Milan Baros, Liverpool takes the lead. Interesting start to the game. Tevez. David. Frank Lampard. Frank Lampard, the best midfielder between him and Steven Gerrard. Quick response.
That's the equalising goal. It's it crossfield. Riise switches the play. Takes it on his chest. It's a free kick to Liverpool.
Free kick in dangerous position for Liverpool. Who's gonna take it? Steven Gerrard? Jan Arne Riise? Marcus Babbel, of all players. Okay, whips it in. Wayne Bridge just whips it away. Here's Adebayor, just drops the ball. Michael Owen gets destroyed by William Gallas. Flip him out. Let's go for a counter-attack here. Adebayor. Olisa Debe. To Super Frank Lampard. Scores his second game for a episode. Well, in the game at least. He wants to show Frank Lampard, Steven Gerrard, I'm better than you are. And statistically, he is. Olisa Debe. Ian Hart. Olisa Debe just bangs that goal in. 3-1. Look at this. Dude, I can't do anything about that. Michael Owen with a shot. Peter Cech. William Gallas. Get below the pipe there, the whistle, dude. I was like in the middle of an attacking play. Come on, dude. Adebayor, Olisa Debe.
Good stop by the keeper. Bridge gets it across, heads it.
Great header for once from Adebayor. Maybe I've learned how to whip the balls in for crossing.
That's a huge kick.
Lampard is just everywhere this episode. Exactly the way I like it.
Plays the ball down the middle. Played that well.
Great tackle by Lily King.
Lays it on.
Wayne Bridge.
Penalty to Liverpool.
Well, that was stupid, Wayne Bridge.
He's being booked.
That was very stupid. Steven Gerrard against Peter Cech.
Straight in the corner. Liverpool pull one back. Olisa Debe. Shoots.
2-4. Carlos Tevez.
Absolutely.
Quick response to Steven Gerrard's penalty kick. Here's Tevez again. Here's Tevez again. He gets stuck there, gets the ball way
Measured ball. Oh, that's a foul.
far away from his feet there. I'm actually going to do substitutions here due to the fact that we have two players with yellow cards. We're going to bring in Chiellini. Lele King goes out for Boccanegra, and Lampard goes out for Michael Essien. I don't want to risk a red card. I don't want to risk it. Olisa Debe. Oh my good lord.
Gains possession.
Olisa Debe.
Superb tackle.
Adebayor.
Shoots.
Capu.
Plays the easy ball. Loses the ball.
Adebayor working really hard. Carlos Tevez.
Outside the box. Excellent stop by the keeper. We're certainly into injury time at this point.
Chiellini.
There's the full-time whistle.
And that's it.
That's an
We win with
excellent
2-4 against Liverpool at Anfield. What an episode. Only 3 games, so a rather short episode. But sometimes shorter episodes are more enjoyable to watch as well, instead of like an hour and a half, like some of the episodes has been back in the day. But we're wrapping up this show here. Oh god, Lorient and the Columbus. Of course they want to bid for my players. So let's take care of that before we move on. Refuse bid. Of course we're gonna refuse to bid. Of course we're gonna refuse to bid. But Melo is important for this team. We're gonna take a quick peek on the fixture screen next episode. We're gonna play the FA Cup against Liverpool. We're gonna play against Fulham, Millwall, Blackburn, Liverpool, and then we're gonna play in the next episode. After that, we're gonna play the fixtures against West Brom, Chelsea, the returning leg against Liverpool. And then we're gonna play against Millwall, Charlton, and West Ham. So we can lead. That episode will be longer than what these episodes have been. So, competition update. The table. We're 17 points ahead of Leeds. Leeds currently has one less game played. Leeds are doing way better than I thought they would be. West Bromwich, Millwall, and Charlton are on the way to be relegated. But, as we always say, when we wrap up an episode, I'm gonna say, see you in my eyes. And I just want to say, if you enjoyed the episode, thank you so much. Drop a like, subscribe to the channel if you like this Football 2003. Drop a comment if you want to. And I'm Nielsen92 signing off with have a nice day whenever you're watching this. And I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.